Hello, good afternoon. It's JB in the commentary box. We're coming to you from Villa Park for the first leg of the playoffs between Aston Villa and West Bromwich Albion. And what a game it promises to be. And I have to tell you that the atmosphere at Villa Park is unbelievable. And this could be an interesting game. We'll bring you 3 live matches from the playoffs this season. The second leg to come later on between Derby and Leeds. A repeat of Spygates earlier on in the season, but there hasn't been any spying going on, I'm pleased to say. And it should be a classic game between 2 great names of English football. In fact, all 4 teams left in the playoffs are actually great names of English football when truth is spoken. Aston Villa, European champions as recent as 37 years ago this very month. We're just waiting the 2 sides to come out at Villa Park. I've got the team news in front of me, and we'll get to that in a very shortly. Of course, you'll be able to, just in case you're wondering why there's a leather football in the corner, my PlayStation 4 profile had to be changed because unfortunately we had a bit of bother with the old thing, and unfortunately we've had to reset. But hopefully you can hear me loud and clear coming through. And terrific atmosphere for this game, I must tell you. But we are live and we are ready to go. Well, part one of the great old grounds of English football. Of course, the final to be played later on in the month. It's being played on a bank holiday Monday. I think it's the 25th of May. I think the final actually in fact takes place. The playoffs is always one that gives us drama. And of course, we followed Villa in their first leg away at Middlesbrough last year, which Chris did the commentary on. And of course will be making a welcome return for the European Cup final on the 1st of June. I'd also like to have my congratulations as well. I probably have on another video I did last night, but just to remind everybody that my warmest congratulations go out to obviously Liverpool, Spurs for reaching the European Cup final, and of course the 2 London clubs, Arsenal and Chelsea, for reaching the Europa League final, which I've got strong feelings about. But those feelings can be cast aside for at least today, because today it's all about the end of season flair that is the playoffs of Villa Park, packed to capacity. And what an atmosphere it promises to be here at one of the great old grounds of English football. West Brom, I've only had to make the 2-mile journey to Villa Park, and it's really a white hot atmosphere. We were here early on in the season for the second city derby, which Villa won a pulsating game, 4-2, you may remember. But this, even by that standards, and believe me, Villa Birmingham is a massive derby in these parts, but it's not just about bragging rights over 2 legs, it's about a place at Wembley, and after that, for the winners, potentially a tougher game against either Frank Lampard's Derby County or Belize's Leeds United, who will be doing the commentary of it in a little while at 5:15. We'll be back on the air at 5 o'clock, so I've got to hot foot it from here after the game, straight to Derby, and then get ready for that one. It's going to be the 2 teams coming out here at Villa Park. And the referee today is a Premier League referee, Graham Scott from Oxfordshire. And look at that, the old end, one big banner across the top tier of the stand. We are Villa. Making a bold statement here. pyrotechnics and fireworks going off. And what an opportunity now for people like Tammy Abraham to get a Wembley appearance, being shoved out at Chelsea. Let's look at the Villa lineup with steering goal, back four of El Mohammadi, Tanasabi, Mings and Taylor. Then it's a three-man midfield of John McGinn, Gwen Whelan and the young Villa player Grealish, Jack Grealish. And up front it's Adomo, Tammy Abraham and El Ghazi, who's had his red card rightfully rescinded for what happened at Leeds when he was harshly sent off when Bradford made all them stupid play-acting remarks. On the bench, Kalinic, House, Huberhen, Jelinek, Green, Davis and Jonathan Codger should Villa need him this afternoon. Villa line up with former Villa keeper Sam Johnson in goal, and it's a back three of Jolson, Botley and Exari, and then it's Holgate, Phillips, Brunt, Johansson and Kieran Gibbs. In the five-man midfield, Holgate on the right, Gibbs on the left, and up front, Dwight Gale, a very pacey man signed from Crystal Palace, and Jay Rodriguez, who scored in the game at the Hawthorns early this season. Their caretaker coach, of course, is the vastly unknown to the wider public at large, James Shan. On the bench, we've got Bond, Mears, Townsend, Morrison, Samfield, Montero, and Murphy, who wears number 70 as well. There's Dean Smith, the Villa manager. John Terry, of course, on his backroom staff. And James Shan, what an opportunity to him to make his name. He's the caretaker manager since Darren Moore was harshly sacked back in March when the team was in the playoffs. But the Villa Park crowd are absolutely fantastic for this one. And if you'd like a bet, and please gamble responsibly if you would, it's very hard to call with the bookmakers. It's a local derby, it's always very tough to call, but if you're having a bet on this game, please do it very, very responsibly. But what I will say is, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't want to call this one. You wouldn't want to make any rash predictions as regards playoffs are concerned. This really is an important game. West Brom have gone into it in fourth position, and Tyrone Mings, it could be a lucky omen for Villa. He's lost only 2 of his previous 15 appearances, winning 9 of them and drawing 4 of them. In fact, Villa go into this with a much better form. 1 defeat in their last 12. That was last on a week, 6 days ago against Norwich on the final day when Norwich won 2-1. And Chris Brunt, a vital cog in the West Brom machine, makes a lot of difference to West Brom when he's in the team rather than out of the team. But Dean Smith, a Villa man, a Villa fan growing up, and James Shan, the opposite manager, the caretaker manager, the interim manager, whatever you want to call him, but he's managed to steer them into the playoffs, albeit in an inconsistent sort of run of results. And there's the referee today from Oxfordshire, all decked out in fluorescent yellow with dark shorts, Graham Scott. It's going to be West Brom in their striped shirts, the blue and white, light blue and white stripes, the Beggies they're called, and Villa of course in claret and blue with white shorts and light blue socks. West Brom incidentally attacking the out end in the first half. It's going to be Dwight Gale to kick us off, and he'll play the ball back, and away we go. The first of the live commentaries from the Championship playoffs. And of course, the conference playoff final between AFC Fylde and Salford City takes place this afternoon. And I wish both teams all the best in the world, especially Salford, who have come up through the leagues and have done magnificently well. But Fylde, it'd be nice to have a third team on that part of the world. Already Fleetwood and Blackpool in the Football League. And if AFC Fylde can make it a hat-trick, that would be terrific for them. Salford City, I've got a personal interest because I've got a big friend there who's the actual mascot at the club, and I would like to see Salford get there as well. As Rodriguez runs charging forward, roundly booed because when he scored the late equaliser between these sides back in November in the 2-2 game at the Hawthorns, he alleged to have used a hand, according to Dean Smith and John Terry. Very frustrating times for them which cost Villa 3 points. That's why he's been booed. There's Jack Grealish playing the ball out towards El Mohammadi, who's wearing number 27, and the referee's not happy. I think there was a foul there in the centre by Johansson. The referee just having a word or two there with Glenn Whelan, who's a former West Brom player. Plenty of needle involved in these games, and if you want to take advantage of the comment section, you're more than welcome to do so. Make your case in the comment section. I'll try and read some out during the game. Of course, this is not the first live match we'll have for you in the playoffs today. We've got the other semi-final, which I'll be hot-footing up to Pride Park for, the game between Derby County and Leeds United. Boy, back in the 70s, that used to be something fantastically special when Brian Clough and Don Revie were managers of respective clubs. Now it's Frank Lampard against Policia, and there's a bit of a dark needle going on between those two as Bartley's been penalised midway inside his own half, and Tammy Abraham. So a free kick about 40-45 yards from goal, just centre. And just to remind you of the rules, so with the 2 legs, no away goal rule. So if it was level after the 2 legs, we would compulsory as you go into extra time, because no away goals count in the playoffs semi-finals, as opposed to the European games where away goals count double after 90 minutes, and in the League Cup semi-finals when away goals double after extra time, which actually I believe after extra time is a stupid rule, certainly the League Cup semis, and I think that should be abolished. Anyway, cross back in, and it's a corner. It was Taylor's cross, and it came off a West Brom player, and they've taken the corner quickly. Have they? No, it's going to be Jack Grealish to take the corner, I think, from the far side. Tanatsabi and Mings, former Bournemouth player, as the ball is taken in quickly, and in the end from 6 yards it was Glenn Whelan almost profiting against his old club. Just nodded the header, just got his header slightly wrong. It was a cleverly taken corner here by Jack Grealish into the penalty area, cross back, and it was just behind Whelan a little bit, and in the end it was a little bit of relief there for West Brom as the former West Brom man headed over from 6 yards. It wasn't an easy header to take, and a goal kick it is, and former Villa goalkeeper Sam Johnson to take right-footed. 3.5 minutes gone here at Villa Park, 0-0 in the Championship playoffs semi-final, first leg. Second legs will be played to a finish in the next few days, midweek. I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday that both semi-finals get finished, one after the other. As the ball is cut out by Agazi, and he knocks the ball down the West Brom left-hand side. Adoma now to win it for Villa. Whelan flicking that ball forward towards the edge of the West Brom penalty area. All of a sudden, Villa on top at the moment. Just to remind you of the 2 results, as I said, 2-2 in the game in the first half of the season. Then in February, West Brom came here to Villa Park and won by 2-0. Here's Kieran Gibbs, the former Arsenal youngster, to take the throw. There's a great crowd, and the whole place is jumping, and we hope for a great semi-final. That is the one thing we get, and we saw a cagey game between Middlesbrough and Villa last season where it could have gone either way. Villa did win the second leg, incidentally, but then lost the game against Fulham as Taylor comes forward now for Villa, gets the crossing towards the penalty area, and offside I think it was against Adoma, and in fact it was, and a goal kick it is, or free kick I should say, to West Bromwich Albion with 5 minutes gone, and it's still goalless, and Adoma there was just a good yard offside as the ball was played in. And really is quite an important game really for both sides. It's not just about bragging rights, it's a Wembley place up for grabs and goodness knows what else. But I have to say Villa Park is a fantastic venue, and it should not be a Championship ground, it should be a Premier League ground. Mind you, all 4 of the grounds should be Premier League grounds by rights. And that's going to be a goal kick to Aston Villa. Dwight Gale slipping as he attempted to try and cross the ball on the far side. Villa attacking the north end in the first half, where there's a two-tier stand with two rows of executive boxes in between the two tiers. Used to be the end where the away supporters used to be, but they're in the right hand end of the Doug Ellis stand as the ball comes in. It's Villa again on the attack, and that was towards John McGinn inside the penalty area, who they signed from Hibernian in Scotland. The ball played back now to Grealish. Grealish turns away from his man, finds Al-Mohammadi. Al-Mohammadi's cross hits the defender, and it's a corner kick. It came off Kieran Gibbs, and it will be a corner kick to Aston Villa from the near side this time. And here is John McGinn, who's going to take it from the near side. Now, will they go short, or will they go a bit longer into the penalty area? Whelan is certainly forward for this one. Looks like they're going to float one in. So McGinn with his left foot floats it into the 6-yard box. Johnston got a not too good distance on the punch, but it was effective enough. And here come West Brom now, trying to make something on the counter attack here with Matt Phillips, and Phillips cuts in from the right hand side. This is a good run by Phillips, who came to prominence of course at Wickham, and then Ian Holloway gave him a chance in the Premier League very early on in his career when it was at Blackpool. And at the moment he only had in fact Dwight Gale up ahead of him. Both teams littered with playoff experience. And the ball out of play, and it came off a defender, so it will be a throw to West Brom deep inside the Villa half, but they go back to halfway. Zaghi gets the ball back, and Bartley now to hook it forward with his right foot. And it was a poor ball really from Bartley, and straight out of play halfway inside the Villa half for a throw in to Aston Villa. 8 minutes gone. It's Villa 0, West Bromwich Albion 0 in the first leg of the playoffs, the Championship playoffs. So much rides on these games, of course. Fantastic atmosphere, I have to tell you. I must say, as the Villa player goes down, but there's no foul, so it's play on. And El Ghazi now has it on the far side for Villa. And the ball will break here for McGinn, or almost break for McGinn. And here's a chance now for Villa to come forward. And we've got to please keep your comments clean, of course, as the shot comes in from a Doma, I think, and it's behind for a goal kick. We do have a comment. And it's from Peter Pinions. Please, can we keep your opinions? Can we keep your comments clean? Because we are a family show, so I'm going to have to hide that, I'm afraid. We have 5 moderators on at any one time, guys. So please keep your comments above board and very much clean. As West Brom win a 3-kick midway inside the Villa half. Big Tanat to be there fouling Dwight Gale. Bit of a mismatch because Tanat is a big strapping bloke compared to Dwight Gale's a small pacey sort of finished sort of player. Coming up to 10 minutes gone. Chris Brunt, who can strike a ball. I've seen him do that in his days at West Brom, here at West Brom, and of course at Stoke, and latterly than that Sheffield Wednesday, of course, when he started his career. I know what that stands for, but keep the comments clean. It is a family show. As the ball gets floated in there, and Villa were in all sorts of problems. The goalkeeper came for a ball that he shouldn't have really gone for, Jed Steer. As the ball came in, why was Steer having to come for that ball when he could have left that to a Villa defender? But anyway, we're back with the action, and the shot coming in off the crossbar. Oh my goodness me! And suddenly, Villa on the ropes again. It was Jay Rodriguez with the shot, and I think Steer may have got a hand onto that and sticked it onto the crossbar. Well, after good early pressure from Aston Villa, all of a sudden it's West Brom's turn to worry the Villa defence, and what a save that was. diving away to his left hand side there from Steer. It was a great shot, and Rodriguez thought he was going to score against Villa again, but he hadn't reckoned on Jed Steer there making an excellent save. So West Brom have hit the crossbar in the opening 11 minutes. It's still 0-0 here at Villa Park. Well, that could have easily been the first goal as West Brom go on the attack once again, but the ball bisects everybody, but it might be kept in play. In fact, it will be by Gibbs, and he wins the throw-in off a Doma in line with the 6-yard box of Villa. So I take it Jamie is a Birmingham supporter or a West Brom fan, whichever, but we know what SLTV means, and it's not, and I'm not going to mention it because there is one naughty word in that, and that's the first one. Anyway, here's Dwight Gale to take the throw in. Please keep your comments clean if you can. We are a family show. Right, so we're going to see Dwight Gale take a long throw in here, and now, is this a ploy there by one of the West Brom players? We don't know, as the ball was chucked in by Dwight Gale, and it was a poor Gibbs rather with the throw, and it was a poor throw. Zaghi now, Zaghi gets the ball forward for West Brom, a long ball forward, but again, this time better defending there from Villa. Now Grealish, and they'll be looking to him in the midfield to make things happen here. Jack Grealish, as Villa go charging forward again, and once again he goes down, and it's El Ghazi who was fouled on the far side where Grealish had played the ball into him, and in fact it was Mason Holgate, the former Evertonian, with the foul there. So Grealish, who's the Villa skipper, trying to marshal the troops here after a little 3 or 4 minutes of adversity. 13 minutes gone. It's Villa 0, West Brom 0. Not to be decided today, of course. We've got a second leg in midweek at the Hawthorns, and boy, what atmosphere that could prove to be. Second leg, of course, with the other semi will be at Ellen Road. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on. Nothing's been given, just a goal kick. Tyrone Mings was involved, and so too was Ghazi. Now, well, it's handbags at 10 paces to me. It's a very difficult one, whether that should have been a penalty ordered by Graham Scott or not. Very hard to say. I actually think Mings may have made a little bit of a meal of that, and I think the referee maybe have maybe quite rightly, in fact, erred on the side of caution. Michael Atherton as well there too. This is really a tough old start, but it's been a good game. Villa have come closest, of course, though. They've hit the crossbar, and well, James Chan will be delighted with the way his side have gone about their business. Dean Smith will be a little bit frustrated after a good opening 4 or 5 minutes. The Villa have just got off the pace a little bit. Here's Adoma though for Villa. That's better, and a good ball in, and Tammy Abraham trying to volley it from just to the left of the penalty spot. He hit it not too far over the crossbar, but it was a little bit moved there from Aston Villa. Good ball in there. Best we've seen of him so far, but Tammy Abraham, the on-loanee from Chelsea, couldn't control the volley. And behind into the crowd for a goal kick. So both teams, Villa have had a couple of half chances, one for Glenn Whelan and the one just then for, of course, Tammy Abraham, but Jay Rodriguez has come closest, hitting the crossbar for West Brom, although it was tipped onto the bar really by a terrific piece of goalkeeping by young Jed Steer. 15 minutes gone, and amazingly still goalless, but here's a chance for West Brom, and they've scored! It's Dwight Gale with his left foot, and it's West Brom who silenced the crowd, and it's they who celebrate. It's Villa 0, West Brom 1, a mistake in the Villa defence, and it was Glenn Whelan of all people giving the ball away, and Dwight Gale with his pace and his power cottoned onto it and finished with great aplomb there. Bad mistake. Gale with his left foot, bang. Steer could do little about it. It's Aston Villa 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. What a blow for the Baggies to hit, and maybe Steer could have done a little bit better on this one, but take nothing away from the ferocity and the pace of Dwight Gale's shot. It was a terrific goal. And you've got to say, West Brom, for the last 7 or 8 minutes, have been fractionally the better side. And Villa have it all to do. But in the playoffs, it doesn't change their mindset, because there's no away goals coming into being in this competition, or in this particular part. But it's a huge blow for Villa, who started the game so well, but then are really gone back into their shell, so to speak, and now they need the inspirational skipper Jack Grealish to really pick them up now and see if they can get back into this game. Villa 0, West Brom 1. Tanatsabi now for Villa. Comes charging forward over halfway. It's important now that Villa don't panic. That's what Dean Smith will want. They've still got a lot of quality on the pitch there, and I'm sure they'll want to give their fans a good send-off at Villa Park going into that second leg at the Hawthorns, which is actually I still think will be crucial. Here's Grealish now into the penalty area. He goes down, but I think the tackle was clean. The shot comes in, and Sam Johnston again. El-Zaghi with a shot from the left-hand side of the penalty area, and he took a couple of ricochets, but Johnston was well positioned to gather it in at his near post. Lovely play again, this time Grealish. Felt he should have had a free kick there, Jack Grealish, but not on Yanelli. And definite play on there, in my opinion. And it almost came good for Villa in the end. Second semi-final to come later on. Villa Park just plunged into silence now for what they hope will be a temporary time. And Villa have a throw-in on the far side, in line with their own 6-yard area, which tells you all you need to know, really. So problems afoot for Aston Villa here in this first leg of the semi-final, the first semi-final between sides who finished 4th. West Brom finished 4th in the table. Villa in 5th place, just behind them. So in terms of league position, West Brom have finished higher. Of course, 6th place Derby entertain 3rd place Leeds United, who led the championship for so long, and a bad run of form cost them dearly. Well, 1-0 it is, and hope you're enjoying it at home here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. 18 gone, West Brom 1 up. Mings plays it out towards El Mohammadi, the former Sunderland and Hull City player, on halfway. Gets the ball back towards Mings, just inside his own half. Now, this is an interesting stat. When scoring first in the championship, they've won 17 of their games, drawn 4, and significantly, this is bad news for Villa, they've lost none. This is when West Brom have scored first in a game. So the signs are not good for Villa. So plenty of statistical handicaps for them to sort of overcome here this afternoon, Villa. It was a mistake of their own making. It's Whelan who committed that mistake now, who's on the ball. A real campaigner. Been there, seen it, done it. Very experienced player. Started his career off at Sheffield Wednesday too, along with Chris Bronte's opposite midfield lieutenant. And the tackle's been flying in again, as you would expect in these sort of big derby games. And this is a massive derby game, and Jed Steer takes the ball inside his penalty area, long ball forward, but it was easy for Steer. We're guaranteed at least one Midlands team at Wembley, and it's between these two here. We're contesting a terrific slag here. It's El Ghazi now on the right hand side for Villa, back in field to McGinn on his turn to Jack Grealish, the captain. Grealish plays it out to El-Ghazi on the far side, and El-Ghazi plays the ball into the penalty area, but well dealt with by Bartley. And now West Brom can come again with Matt Phillips on the far side. And this really is... Oh, and Grealish, well, he was tripped there. I didn't think Phillips did anything wrong. I think Grealish just practically slipped over. The referee must have seen it as a clash of feet in his mind and gives Villa the decision. Anyway, Abraham now trying to turn. Adoma slips, allows El-Zaghi to get in there for the Albion. West Brom relegated from the Premier League last season after a torrid time when they went through, I think, 3 managers and were rock bottom for at least 6 months of the season. That's how bad it was for the Baggies, but it's been a little bit better season. But again, they've sacked a manager possibly prematurely, but James Shanna's really got them firing again on all cylinders, and but he's not one that's rather renowned within the football world. But at the moment he's getting the maximum out of his squad at the moment. This is real, and he played a 1-2 with Grealish, and then the bad control there let in Dwight Gale. He just smashed it in, but I would say that Jed Steer should be saving that for me. I think it's very close to him. He gets a hand on it as well, but very disappointing. And Whelan hangs his head as he ought to do, because he knows, and to be fair to him, he held up his hand and said, my fault, I shouldn't have done what I did, I do apologise. But at the moment it's costing Villa dear as we go into the halfway mark of the first leg of the first half. Here's Jack Grealish now through the centre for Villa, deep inside the West Brom half, plays it out to the right hand side, and El Mohammadi back to Jack Grealish, who now Villa will turn to try and have an influence on the game as he tries to play the ball into the penalty area. Whelan winning the header, trying to look for Tammy Abraham, but he couldn't be found, and in the end Sam Johnson, the former Aston Villa goalkeeper, will know a little bit about the current Villa squad, having played there under Steve Bruce, takes the ball cleanly. But here's Grealish once again for Villa, turns away from his man and finds El Mohammadi. El Mohammadi goes back to the Natsubi, and he gets the ball back to Jed Steer, all in the green goalkeeper's jersey. Now Tyrone Mings to bring the ball away for Aston Villa. The Saturday game, double bill coming to you, including the Championship playoffs. And usually these games are for tense, tight affairs, of course. Of course, the final to be played, I think, on the 25th of May. But I'll check that. I know one of the finals takes place on that particular date. The cup finals next Saturday, a week today. You're going to be able to hear that from 4:30. Here's Villa come running in again, and will they want a goal kick? Well, El Ghazi thinks it should be a corner. The referee doesn't agree. El Ghazi able to play in these games. Well, no, I don't think the referee got that one wrong. I think he was right. It was good defending there by Bartley, actually. Villa really in the main, 24 gone, 1 down. They've been a little bit disappointing in the last 15 minutes, I think. Conceded a very cheap goal. Dwight Gale took with some aplomb, as Jack Grealish now comes forward for Aston Villa. Lays the ball in now to El Mohammadi, and he'll run tirelessly down the right hand side. Adoma's there as his right hand wingman, if you like. Ball played into the West Brom penalty area, hooked away, only half away in fact by the Baggies, but they've played really well today, West Brom. They've played the perfect away performance so far. Of course, we've got to remember there's no away goals rule in this semi-finals. And that applies to every semi-final of the divisional playoffs, whether it's Championship Leagues 1 or 2. It's the ball is hooked away once again by Johnston. Hasn't had a meaningful save to make so far in the 25 minutes that we've been playing here at Villa Park. A little slip there over on the far side. I think it might have been Matt Phillips who slipped on the seat of his pants. The Villa fans, the natives here at Villa Park, getting rather restless, but a nice little light-hearted moment there as Matt Phillips slipped in there. No doubt that'll be played on blooper shows for years to come. 25 gone, and the referee Graham Scott now having to have his wits about him at the moment, having a word with Matt Phillips. He put in 1 or 2 meaty tackles, but after his little ball over session, and he did concede a free kick, so he's getting a warning. No yellow cards yet dished out by referee Scott, which is a testament to him as a referee. He knows how big the occasion is, and for both sides, it's the last 10 minutes possession. Well, 70-30 in favour of Aston Villa over West Brom, but it's what you do with that possession, and I have to say Villa have done next to nothing with that 70% they've had. Created one or two half chances, but not really much so far, and as a whole, really, they've not really done much of it. And Villa and West Brom with their position have done far more. They've hit the bar and have scored, albeit rather gift wrapped to them by former player Glenn Whelan. Here's Al Mohammadi on the right hand side, deep inside the West Brom half of the field. Adama kept it in, and again Al Mohammadi on the run, and the ball ricocheted off a defender and then off Al Mohammadi, who crossed it in a second time, having kept it in, and it ricocheted off another West Brom defender for a corner. So John McGinn to take on the near side. Remember, Villa attacking the north end, 2 tiers stand with 2 rows of executive box in between the 2 tiers to my right. And here's McGinn. Ball's just about on the quadrant as well, and the corner that was intended for Jack Grealish was well cut out. Should have gone long there, McGinn, I felt. It would have been more of a logical step to take at this stage of the proceedings. A long ball forward from the throw in, it comes to nothing, ball goes out. A play and a goal kick. Dwight Gale marks out of 10 there. His interception there, he noticed that he was going to play it to Grealish, and maybe McGinn should have been a bit more coy. Not exactly out of the Trent Alexander-Arnold school of corner taking. In 2 commentary games, I've seen the sublime to the ridiculous. We saw Trent Alexander-Arnold's genius on the corner the other night, and then we've seen the absolute ridiculous from, I'm afraid, John McGinn. And here is John McGinn on the ball for Villa, charging through the centre, gets the ball out to Al Mohammadi on the right hand side. It's Villa attacking West Brom at the moment. Infield again to McGinn. McGinn thought about a shot from all 40 odd yards, but he's running towards the West Brom area, then gets his shot off, and now it will be a corner. And Villa now starting to get up a little bit of head of steam here in this semi-final first leg. Jack Grealish going over to take the corner. There'll be a lot of rumours about him if Villa don't go up this season. Back in fire to Grealish. Inside the West Brom area. Grealish shoots. Over the top it went. They're claiming a deflection, Villa. But the referee, Scott, has awarded a goal kick to West Brom. Just for one moment there, it looked as if Grealish was going to got it onto that right foot. It would have been a very difficult skill if he could get that inside and hit the target and even score. Difficult when you're hitting it from a very acute angle, and he hit it on the left hand flank. Hit it to the left of the penalty spot as we looked at it. But at the moment it still remains 1-0 to West Brom as we come up towards the half-hour mark of this Championship semi-final first leg. Of course, the first of 2 live semi-finals here, first legs on this channel, and Epic Gamer Cole is on. Good afternoon to you, and it's good to see some of the new guys. If we are new to the channel, give us a like and give us a subscribe, and knock that subscribe button and the notification bell if you wouldn't mind. As a cross came in from West Brom, Rodriguez gets the second ball back after the initial header was cleared. It is 1-0 at the moment, and it's been a really good game, good watch, great for a neutral like me to enjoy and get involved with as the ball is played in towards Gale. Back towards the edge of the penalty area, Rodriguez, the former Burnley man, trying to control it with his right foot, and he hooks it into the alt end and behind for a goal kick. But once again, Dwight Gale allowed too much room by the 2 Villa centre backs, who are very, very static and very passive as well, and Villa defensively need to get their A game together, because West Brom, the way they can counter-attack sides is unparamount. You've got the pace of Matt Phillips and the pace of Dwight Gale, who's punished Villa to the full when they've made a mistake, and here's Glenn Whelan, who committed that mistake on the ball, gets the ball over the halfway line. Now the ball has come to from Adama to El Mohammadi. Now back to Whelan. Looks up, assesses the situation, and Mings will take the ball on halfway, come 15 yards into the West Brom half. 31 gone. Still the Albion lead by a goal to nil. That goal from Dwight Gale is proving the difference at the moment. Remember, it doesn't count as an away goal. Not in these semi-finals. Away goals do not count double. If it is an aggregate draw after extra time at the end of the second, at the end of 90 minutes of the second leg, which in this case will be played at the Hawthorns, then we will have a compulsory 30 minutes of extra time, and if it's still level after that, it will be compulsory for a penalty shootout to take place. So any scenario could still happen even at this stage of proceedings. As Grealish takes the ball just to the right and finds Al Mohammadi, who was hugging that right hand touchline, back inside to Whelan, who chips the ball into the penalty area towards the far side, but in the end it comes to Taylor. El Ghazi couldn't grow enough on the far post. They were still having possession, but at the moment West Brom very stubborn at the moment as far as their defence is concerned. Here's Jack Grealish 35 yards out. If anyone can make something happen, he can. El Mohammadi low cross, but again Exagi got back there and did really well for West Bromwich Albion. Good first half this. 32 and a half gone as Taylor hooks the ball in from the left hand side, looking towards Tammy Abraham, who's been a little bit quiet this last 20 or so minutes of the first half since he hit the volley over. McGinn goes down, he wants a free kick and gets it to the disconsolation of Mason Holgate, the former Everton man, and he's going to get a yellow card, in fact, Holgate. Now let's just see what happened. McGinn wins the ball, and in fact, yes, I think that's a foul because Holgate's got a piece of McGinn's shirt. Not sure if it's a bookable offence, mind you. Wearing the number 68, which amazes me why players will want to wear that sort of squad number. But hey, who am I to complain? Right, Villa have a set play, and Jack Grealish, who else is over the free kick, left of the penalty area. Almost in line of the 6-yard box, but from outside the box. So this really is a tough test of West Brom's defensive capabilities. Can Grealish, with his right foot, swing this in perfectly? 2-4-6 Villa players attacking this as Grealish plays the ball in. It doesn't really reach the first man. It was really disappointing from the Villa skipper. And Adoma wins possession, but then gives it away. And now there could be a break on here with Matt Phillips now through the centre. It was 3-on-2 for a minute in West Brom's favour, and they've done well, in fact, to get a corner out of it because Villa had ganged up on them. By that time, Adoma got back, and as the ball was attempted to be played, it did deflect off Adoma, but it was a little bit of a. They made a bit of a mess of that counter attack there, and West Brom felt Dwight Gale was complaining about something. I couldn't work out what it was, but nevertheless, Albion have a corner. Exagi, Dawson and Bartley all in there, and a bit of tug in there between him and Glenn Whelan. Bit of jostling going on towards the near post. It's nodded behind. It will be a consecutive corners now for West Brom. As we come charging, hurtling towards the final 10 minutes, which we've almost heading into now. We've almost played the 35. And we've hit the 35-minute mark as I talk to you now. Phillips to take another corner again from the near side, the left-hand side. Again, the jostling in that penalty area as that ball is playing it towards the near post. That was dangerous. That was dangerous. A dangerous corner, better than what we've seen from McGinn and Grealish so far for Villa as regards their corner taking. Back with Johnston now, halfway inside his own half. Tom Eaton style kicks forward. And Gale takes possession. He's the man who scored the goal, the former Crystal Palace man. Should be a Premier League footballer, Dwight Gale. The way he's still I think he still has a lot to offer the Premier League, Dwight Gale. And if he was to get up with West Brom, he'd be a real asset to him. But I think he's on loan anyway. The ball's getting given away, and a chance here for El Ghazi now to making inroads here for Villa. El Ghazi's cross is a dangerous one, and it needed a touch away from Exagi, and it's come to Grealish now, being roundly booed by the travelling hordes of West Brom fans who have made the 2.5 mile trip across Birmingham to Villa Park. And here's Matt Phillips now just coming out to the left hand side and plays it inside to Gibbs. Gibbs back to Phillips. Phillips again hits, first ball hits the man, second ball is hooped up and under. Dwight Gale trying to win that against Tyrone Mings. It would have been a mismatch, but it's still with Villa on, still with West Brom on the far side, but the ball's gone out. A play from Johansson on the far side into the Villa bench, and Dean Smith and John Terry, if it stays this way going into the half-time interval, may have to have a few choice words, because they've had all the possession and most of the play and dominated all that part of the game, but they have not been good enough in the final third. Defensively, West Brom have made them look second-rated, really, but still very much in it at 1-0. It can still be changed. There are options on the bench for both sides, so it's not all over yet for Aston Villa by any stretch of the imagination. As Tanetta comes forward and plays an awful ball out to the far side. It was absolutely awful, and that just sums up Villa's play in the first half, really, in a nutshell. Wasn't the ball I would have seen Tanetta play, really, but really, James, well, he'll be happy. James Shanny, absolutely brilliant, and nobody, when he came in, nobody had heard of him when he took temporary control, but to tell you something, he's marshalled the troops superbly. Okay, they've had a inconsistent run into the players when their playoff place was assured. They were massive favourites by the bookies at the start, West Brom, sorry, to go up automatically, but they didn't bank on Norwich and Sheffield United having exceptional seasons where their teams performed magnificently. Has teams as Villa come charging forward with Tammy Abraham inside the area from El Mohammadi's cross. It is a throw-in by the corner flag to Villa. And on another day, that could have been a corner. On another day, that is. El Mohammadi to take the throw-in. Into McGinn. McGinn back again to Yonatabe. Now, once again, Tyrone Mings playing the ball out to the far side. Now Al Ghazi, now he'll come forward, but he'll have to go back now to Tyrone Mings. Mings into Whelan, who'll want to put that mistake right, I'm sure. Here's the ball out towards El Mohammadi. Good insurance policy, back inside to Adoma, and now El Mohammadi again, right hand side. Adoma looking at touchline on the right hand side, and now El Mohammadi again. Villa just can't find a way through this stubborn West Brom rearguard action. El Mohammadi annoyed with Albert Adoma there. That just sums up the frustration inside Villa Park, the Villa fans, and there must be at least 35,000 of them there. Must be 36,000 of them here today. And they must be praying to be back to 1982 again and that European Cup victory when they beat Bayern Munich all those years ago. Those years seem a long way from now at the moment. If they're ever going to win the European Cup again, it's a long way off. But try they are doing at the moment, and Villa again. Oh dear me, it was McGinn who had the shot, and it could have easily gone out for a throw, but they've kept it in on the right hand side. Here's Glenn Whelan to Jack Grealish. He needs to get this game by the scruff of the neck for Villa, I feel. Whelan, who hasn't been good enough so far, plays it inside to McGinn. Now opportunity here for Grealish, gets away from one man, but again there's two players converging on him. Taylor now with the cross, a poor cross really from Neil Taylor, who should be a lot better than what he is at the moment. Ball back on halfway though with Mings. 5 to go minutes wise in the first half, but it's West Brom leading for a goal from Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale's goal after 16 minutes, I think, deciding this first leg at the moment. Remember, there's still another game to come at the Hawthorns, and if Villa were to go in with a deficit to pull back, I think it will be a difficult place for them to do it. Remember, Villa have drawn and lost their regular season fixtures. There's a player gone down for West Brom, and he's urging Sam Johnston to put the ball out on the far side, which he has done accordingly. so he can receive treatment. It's Craig Dawson, I think. Looks like Dawson to me, the player that Burnley were interested in signing several years ago. Fewest touches in this game, I'm afraid. Tammy Abraham, it's been really quiet. The Dome has had 16 and El Ghazi has had only 19. That just shows how good West Brom have been defensively, as the players now take on, from both sides, all 22 players take on fluids and extra energy bars or whatever they tend to have these days, as Craig Dawson is being seen to out on the field. So break on play, and of course just to remind you, 5 o'clock I'll be back this time at Pride Park for the game between Derby and Leeds, and what a semi-final that promises to be. Frank Lampard, first season as Derby manager. Certainly has produced some great performances in knockout football, so this might be tailor-made for him. Leeds frustrated they didn't get up automatically, having had a lead in the championship title race from Norwich, and Sheffield United overhauled them form-wise and team spirit-wise. So plenty of work for Belisa's boys to do at Derby and at Ellen Road later on, but this was the goal again. Dwight Gale, left foot, bang. Maybe the goalkeeper should do better for me there, Jed Steer, but having said that, it's a cracking little finish, and my goodness, didn't enjoy that. So Dwight Gale gives West Brom the advantage, and well, I think he knew straight away, Whelan, what he had done. Ex-West Brom, of course, and there's still a lengthy treatment, so we might have a good chunk of stoppage time at the end of this first period. Once we've got to half time, we'll have a 10-minute break, as we always do for our live matches, and then reconvene for second half. So Dean Smith's side in trouble, in bother, and I don't think he can wait to get his players in quickly enough. No, at the moment, Shan, the opposition manager, is got a big decision to make. Does Dawson play until half time, or do they make a substitution? I would fancy they would make a substitution. There's 2 medical staffs on there, and I'm not sure what the injury was for actually, but he's got a job to do, Shan, on that far side. Michael Appleton helping him out. West Brom manager himself, has managed at Blackpool amongst other teams. This is a big blow for West Brom if they were to lose Dawson. They have on the bench, incidentally, Morrison, Mears, Townsend, Montero, Bond the goalkeeper, Southfield, and number 70 Murphy. This is a big problem. They're having to make medical attention. If you were Shan, James Shan, the manager, would you stick or would you twist? That's the $64,000 question. We're now 30 seconds from the 45 minutes elapsed, but there's bound to be at least 2 to 3 minutes, I would wager, of injury and stoppage time at the end, as the ball goes dead into touch at the old end and behind for a Villa goal kick. Dawson is still receiving treatment on the far side, and I'm not sure and I'm not certain he's going to be able to continue. But Villa now have an opportunity against 10 men for until at least half time. Dawson still receiving treatment on the halfway line by the 2 benches on the far side. We're now into stoppage time at the end of the first half, and we'll get signals of, well, it's 5 minutes, so I'm not too surprised. I thought 3 at the very least would have been adequate, but here's Grealish now towards the edge of the area. Can Villa take advantage just before the break? It would be a nice moment for them to get the equaliser, but the ball just won't break to them on the edge of the area, and now it's a throw. Dean Smith fielding the ball. Looks as if Dawson is able to continue at least until half time, and then they'll have a look at it, the West Brom hierarchy, and see if they want to make changes at the end of the first half. But it's Villa with Jack Grealish towards the edge of the area, flanked by 2 Albion defenders. And once again, El Mohammadi, poor cross by El Mohammadi, it was charged down. But it was by Jay Rodriguez of all people. Rodriguez who hit the crossbar, of course. Here's John McGinn from Grealish's pass. And McGinn now, he goes down, no foul there, definitely no foul. Here's Tyrone Mings who hits the shot down low and straight into the arms of Sam Johnson, who fails it into his chest. And the goal kick has been given, and he will release the pressure for West Brom as we look at a replay of someone just falling over there. Don't know what the television director was thinking about. Did he get drunk the night before? Who knows? But a definite really that the shot from Mings was a decent one with his left foot, but it was straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. Here's Mings now 15 yards inside the West Brom half. This Midlands derby going the way of West Brom at the moment, but wait, here's Taylor now to the byline left hand side, and that deflected out for a goal kick, to the frustrations of Neil Taylor, the former Swansea man. Graham Scott not winning too many friends, it seems, with the Villa Park public. As we see once again, now did this deflect off Dawson? He seems to be okay. Well, it did seem to come off Greg Dawson, I must admit. It's very hard really for referee Graham Scott to make the right call, because you're damned if you do, and I suppose you're damned if you don't if you're a referee. So Mohammadi takes possession. We're still deep into the 5 added minutes at the end of the first half, and Gale pinches the ball rather casually off Tyrone Mings and brings Matt Phillips into it. He's got Rodriguez in the centre, and Phillips has gone to the right hand channel, and he's gone into the corners. That's an interesting tactic as we come 2 minutes shy of 5. It's been an extraordinary end to this first period. Might be able to take the throw in. Getting roundly booed by the masses of Villa ranks around this famous old Villa Park ground. 90 seconds of the stoppage to go. Stoppage time, a minimum of 5 minutes, I should also stress, as the throw comes to nothing and Jed Steer catches the ball and gets Villa moving again with Tammy Abraham. Out a play it goes from Dawson, and the play on the far side, and it's the West Brom left hand side, or the Villa right and left hand side as we look. Get another throw in. Again, quarter of a way inside the West Brom half. We're now into the final minute of the additional 5. Again, I should also stress it is a minimum off. I can't keep emphasising that enough. As Dawson plays the ball into the area. Out to spar as Whelan. We've got 40 seconds left of the first half. Still 1-0 to Aston Villa or 1-0 rather to West Brom in the playoff semi-final. Grealish has possession again. 30 seconds left. The ball before the break. We'll take a short break, 10-minute break, to get our breath back from what's been a breathless first half here at Villa Park, and I think we could all do with a lie down and a little break before we reconvene in 15 minutes time for the start of the second half. In the sunshine, in the second city. Al Mohammadi back inside once again, in towards Whelan. Whelan now, 4 seconds from the end of the stoppage time. We've played the 5 minutes. And there will be time for a free kick, I think, to Aston Villa. No, there won't. And the Villa are a little bit disgusted by that. But there goes the whistle. And it's Dwight Gale's goal after a mistake by Glenn Whelan after 17 minutes. Which is the complete difference in this game, I'm afraid. If you're a Villa fan, it doesn't make great reading. West Brom have been brilliant. They've done really well. Good on the counter-attack. And at the moment, they lead this semi-final first leg by a goal to 0. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. And after that break, we'll have the whole second half for you coming right up. But the scoreline here at the moment at Villa Park, it's Aston Villa 0, West Brom 1. Welcome back to the second half at Villa Park, where there's going to be a half-time alteration, and Tyrone Mears, the ex-Burnley man, has come on. So it looks as if Craig Dawson hasn't lasted, has only got as far as the 45-minute mark, but Villa have it all to do in the second half. They weren't really great. Yes, they had all the possession, but they did absolutely next to nothing with the possession that they had. Now they need a big 45 minutes ahead here at Villa Park this afternoon if they're going to get back in the playoff chase. Villa to get us underway. Attacking the goal to our left, the alt end, and away we go. Villa in the claret and blue. They've made no changes, incidentally, as the ball is played back to Mings, and now went out to be back to Mings once again through the centre. Still inside the Villa half. So just to confirm, Dawson is off and Mears is on. So that's the half-time alterations made at the start of the second half. West Brom leading for that first half goal from Dwight Gale after a mistake by former Albion player Glenn Whelan. Trying to play an uncharacteristic 1-2 with Jack Grealish and got it stuck under his feet. But at the moment, West Brom holding all the advantages. Remember, away goals don't count in these playoffs. Just to remind you all. At the moment, just Villa stroking the ball around a little bit, and Jez Steer getting his first touch of the second half. Just to remind you of the defensive record: 62 conceded this season in the Championship, 9 clean sheets. So, defensive record, it's not been too great for West Brom. So there's a little bit of statistical hope for Villa as Wanatsabi comes forward, gets it out to Al Mohammadi on the right hand side, infield towards once again it was Whelan, now back to Tyrone Mings. Mings moving from halfway, and that's a poor ball by him, intercepted by Tyrone Mears. It's amazing how his career's gone since leaving Burnley. He went to Bolton and then wasn't really heard of. So just to confirm the Villa lineup: Steering goal, El Mohammadi, Tanatsabi, Mings, Taylor, Whelan, Adoma, John McGinn, Jack Grealish, El Ghazagi and Tammy Abraham. On the bench, Houlihan, Jelinek, Davis, Green, Kodja, Kalinic and Hulse. West Brom now with that one alteration, no Dawson now for the second half. Tyrone Mears has replaced him, and meanwhile, we've just, before we give you out the reminder of the West Brom team, Exagi is going to get a book in for a foul on Adoma right from behind, and it's in a decent position for Aston Villa here. Adoma's still on the floor, so Ahmed Exagi is now into the book. We played 2.5 minutes of the second half, or 1.5 minutes of the second half, I should say. Yeah, 2 minutes of the second half. And now a free kick to Villa. Going up to 3 minutes now. Jack Grealish and John McGinn, the two-men committee, just to the right of centre, about 35 yards away. It's in a fantastic position for a floater there. These two need to get their trajectory right. It's Grealish with the right foot, and very deep one, and it's forced a corner there off the defender Bartley, and it will be a corner to Villa. Just to remind you of the West Brom team: it's Johnston, Mears, Bartley, Exagi, Holgate, Brunt, Johansson, Gibbs, Phillips, Rodriguez and Gale. It's back with McGinn, who strikes it. He strikes it left-footed into the whole 10 over the bar and behind for a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. Just to remind you, the bench already, Mears has been used, so they've got 2 substitutes left, and they can choose from Morrison, Townsend, Montero, Bond the goalkeeper, Samfield and Murphy. And of course, to remind you of the referee, it's Graham Scott of Oxfordshire, so he only had to travel about 100 miles north up the M42, up the M40 I should say, to Birmingham. Oxfordshire, where of course it's famous for its universities and Inspector Morse and all that sort of thing. As the ball comes charging forward there on the right hand side, the ball breaks very kindly for Villa as McGinn tries to make inroads, and he's found Grealish here just to the right of the D. Has to go out to the right. A little deflection here. It might fall for Villa. Ball played into the penalty area there by I think it might have been El Mohammadi. I think they were trying to half appeal for an handball there, more from the Villa supporters than anything else, and they've won the ball back, Villa, and kept the ball in play. It's a good game this, as we come up towards we've just gone past the 4.5 minute mark of the second half. Still 1-0 to West Brom. That first half goal from Dwight Gale deciding matters at the moment. Here's the ball played in there. McGinn tries to take too much. His first touch was a little heavy, but a little bit more action about Villa. They've got a little bit more fire in their bellies, if you like. But the ball is fed forward to Tyrone Mears, who's been fouled there rather clumsily by El Ghazi, and a free kick to West Brom. And then we've had 5 minutes of the second half. This was the shout. It was a Doma. Well, his arm is not out. It was down below. But I'm not sure you could give a penalty for that. I'm not really certain you could have given a penalty for that. I think it would have been a pretty harsh decision. All that's said and done. But it still remains 1-0. And Villa still have a chance, but West Brom get a second, and they've got a free kick here, which comes to nothing in the end. I think it was Mears with the header and headed it wide into the side netting. And here come West Brom again, this time down the left hand side, and it's Mark Phillips leading the charge. Now the ball played into the centre. Villa were a little bit stretched there defensively, and that's always a worry if you're a Villa supporter at this moment in time. Again, an all action start to the second half, but yet nothing happening as the sun is shining here in North Birmingham. And here goes Adama down the right hand side. Adama to the byline now. Can he pull the ball back? He had nobody really in the 6-yard box gambling, and in fact he's forced a corner, and it's got the old 10 now. The noise has gone up tenfold, and now a chance for Villa. Now the set pieces in the first half were not brilliant. Now can Tammy Abraham and co provide something here? John McGinn from the right hand side. Can Villa force an equaliser? Into the area it goes, and good defending there by West Bromwich Albion. It comes to Abraham now on the left hand side, about 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Attacking the old 10, a little chip into the West Brom area. Exagi gets the ball out, and then hooked away towards Dwight Gale, and out comes Jed Steer. Had to nod the ball away because he was a fraction outside his penalty area. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we have the other semi-final in the Championship between Derby and Leeds, and of course we'll have news of the National League playoff between at Wembley, the playoff final there at Wembley between AFC Fylde and Salford City. As Grealish now darts towards the area, chance here for the shot for Wigan, who shoots, and he almost atoned for his mistake in the first half. And here's McGinn chipping it in there. It's all hands on deck, away by Bartley. And all of a sudden now Villa going to try and get this equaliser and wipe out the slender advantage that West Bromwich Albion have got. This is Grealish. Villa Park now on tenterhooks. Here's Adoma, who swapped to the left flank. Back to Taylor. Taylor now looking to McGinn. Back to Taylor, who goes down. Referee was well positioned and said that was a clean tackle, and it's play on. And Johansson to bring it away for West Bromwich Albion. To the far side. What a game this has been. Gibbs now has it. But the big news is that Craig Dawson was forced off by an injury, and now Tyrone Mears will have to have the second half of his life here. Willian unsettled West Brom defensively. At the moment they're being tested quite conclusively here by a Villa side who are not prepared to give in. They may have had a poor first half by their standards, but still, anything can still happen. And here come Villa again with Neil Taylor, the former Swansea City player. Masses of Premier League and Championship experience in amongst both sets of teams. This is Whelan. Whelan in towards Tammy Abraham. His first touch was poor, but he was under a lot of pressure. And now the ball played back to the edge of the area, and Mears will have to put his foot through that, and he did. But Mings now takes it inside, midway inside the Villa half. They're defending the goal to my right, Villa. Of course, attacking the whole end, and West Brom going down to the north stand, which is that two-tier stand flanked by, in between which there are two banks, or two rows of executive boxes in between. Here's Whelan, 25 yards from goal. Might have thought about a shot, but he's got it out to the right-hand side. Ball played in. Good header! Oh, just wide from 6 yards from Tammy Abraham. It looked a formality as soon as he nodded it. Lovely ball out to the far side there from Glenn Whelan, and a lovely cross. And it was flicked just wide. El Ghazi's cross. And it just needed a flick. A little bit of a better flick into the left corner. It just narrowly missed the left hand upright by inches, and Sam Johnston must have breathed the biggest sigh of relief. The best moment of the second half chance wise. 10 gone in the second half. Still West Brom leading by that goal after goal from Dwight Gale early in the first half. And here's Gale on the ball. Gets it back once again from Rodriguez. Now Mears to bring it forward. An ex-Claret, of course, himself. Let's not forget that. He had a season, I think he had a couple of years with us. Mings has conceded a throw-in. And a little bit of respite for the West Brom defence, that's at any rate. But, wow, what a second half it's turning out to be. What a first game. And I'll tell you what, if the game later on between Derby and Leeds is anything to go by, I think we're in for two absolute classics. I've no fears and doubts about that. Anyway, Gale will take a long throw in for West Brom. And it's midway inside the Villa half, maybe past, in fact, level with the edge of the 18-yard line, in fact. And they've won a corner here, West Brom. To the dismay of everyone in Villa. Bartley was up from the back, and he'll stay forward for this corner as well. Bartley starts from just on the periphery, on the byline, from the periphery of the byline, and sometimes that can work against you and for you. In this occasion, it's worked for West Brom because they've won a corner. On another time, that could have been classed as offside. Anyway, Bartley stay forward for the back, and also Brunt will take the corner. Brunt takes it from the near side. A deep one towards the far post, headed back into the danger zone, and still not away, but Zaghi can try and retrieve it, and now Grealish to get it away. Just for one horrible moment, it looks as if, for Villa fans anyway, that a bit of afters there with Johansson and one or two others. He was shoved there, Johansson, on the far side, but I think nothing was going to come of it anyway. Villa have got a free kick, I think, and carry on with Tyrone Mings. I think it was a throw-in and not a free kick, actually. Anyway, here comes Al Mohammadi. Now then, surely Adoma will try and cook up a little bit more magic on the far side, and he will. Adoma, has he kept that in play? Yes, he has, but he's lost possession once again. And at the moment, it's good game management here from James Shan's side, because they lead Dean Smith's Aston Villa by a goal to nil in this first leg. Remember, it's not all over yet after today. It's still the second leg to come. I think it's on Tuesday night at the Hawthorns. Tuesday or Wednesday night at the Hawthorns. Here's El Ghazi. El Ghazi plays that in towards Whelan. Whelan playing that in. Was there a foul there on the edge of the area? Graham Scott was perfectly placed and said no. And McGinn now gets it back to Whelan again. McGinn goes down, but Villa have possession and might have a possible advantage with El Ghazi to Taylor on the overlap. Taylor's cross from the byline is a decent one. Can't find Abraham though. Grealish will win the next ball. Gets it on the edge of the area. Grealish shapes to shoot. Grealish shoots, and it's saved. Diving away to his right-hand side by Sam Johnston, the former Villa keeper. And West Brom, for the moment anyway, live to fight another day as his left-footed shot. Got a couple of deflections, which made it maybe that tad awkward there for Sammy Johnston in the West Brom goals. But he did well. After today, I've got a hot-footed from Birmingham to Derby. So I've got a long... Yeah, as soon as... So it's going to be a long old afternoon, and we'll be live from 5 o'clock at Pride Park for the second semi-final. And what a game it really does promise to be here over in Derby as well. Four great big names of English football battling it out for the £120 million prize pot which they'll get for winning the playoffs. As the ball is played in there and the flag has stayed down here against Jack Grealish. Gets it in by the byline and now fades El Ghazi. Back to Grealish again. Left hand side, in line with the edge of the area as the shot comes in from El Ghazi with his right foot. It was a very speculative shot, albeit from about 25 yards to the left of the penalty area. And it was well wide of the right hand upright, or the left hand upright as a look. And goal kick I think has been awarded. Might have been a little deflection off the West Brom player, but I mean we're speculating whether that would have actually deflected or not, really. But in that instance, enough said. But it's been quite an afternoon here in the West Midlands. Two great West Midlands rivals battling it out for Wembley Place. Of course, it must be concluded in midweek. And Wes Edens, who's the co-chairman at Aston Villa, watches on there, but it's a very anxious looking co-chairman, I've got to be honest, at the moment. Dean Smith, a Villa man through and through, a Villa supporter as a kid. His father used to be a steward here at Villa Park, so Villa in their veins in the Smith household as the throw comes in, and we've got another derogatory comment, I'm afraid. SOTV. We know what the first word means. Can we stop with all this, please? It's a stream. Let's just get comments on the game, please. I'm all for banter, but this is a family show, folks. Right, anyway, back to the game. I think they're both neither West Brom supporters or Birmingham supporters. I think we've got a lot of Birmingham fans on today. There's a yellow card being shown to Dwight Gale for time wasting as he's taking his long throw. And it's level with the edge of the Villa penalty area, the right hand end of Villa Park, attacking the north stand. Remember, the throw comes into the penalty area, flicked on, and he'll come here for a shot from Brunt up the blue noses. I think that's what they say. Certainly not boing boing. Yes, definitely a Birmingham supporter, old Reggie there. And if you are new to the channel, give us a subscription. Get subscribing, because there's plenty more where that comes from this month. We've got Derby Leeds to come today. Then next Saturday, of course, it's the FA Cup final, and I'll be at Wembley for that one. I'll be in the com box for that one. At 4:04. I'm a Baggies fan and I'm a subscriber already. Well done. Oh, right, you're not a Birmingham fan. I do apologise. Up the Baggies. Right, we've got you now, Reg. We are. Thank you for. Well, I'm glad that you are a subscriber already. Thank you. I can never tell who my subscriber bases are because I'm so busy. Anyway, back with the game, and of course next week we've got the cup final for Wembley. Abide with me and everybody else. And Badge says make someone a moderator. Well, I have five moderators. I don't really need more than 5, really. Usually we don't really do 12:30 games. Well, hopefully we'll have a couple of moderators on at some point later on. And of course, I'll remind you, of course, in a few moments of JB Man of the Match, of course. And for those of you who are not familiar with that, I will comment in a minute once we've seen this attack from El Ghazi into the centre it goes, and it's Neil Taylor trying to make inroads, but it's away by Jay Rodriguez, an ex-Claret. So Bungson has subscribed. Good, thank you very much indeed for subscribing to the channel, Bungson. As Rodriguez now goes out on the far side, and Wanatza becomes charging back for Villa. So let's just remind you of the JB Man of the Match award. Now, what you have to do, this involves hashtagging this. So here are the rules, as Villa just had possession and win a free kick, so we get a breaking play to tell you. Just to remind you then, that there's a little bit of afters going on between Jack Grealish and Johansson there, which is the game's just starting to get a little ugly. So we'll just break off from that and just remind you of the JB Man of the Match award. Tammy Abraham was the man fouled, incidentally. So choose your name of the player that you want to see pick up Man of the Match, or you think deserves Man of the Match. But the crucial thing is, for the vote to count, you've got to hashtag it with the hashtag JBMOTM. It's important that you do that. MOTM, and then the vote will count, and the man who's got the most votes after 90 minutes will pick up our supplementary award. And it's just a way to get you guys involved, really. Dwight Gale was down on his haunches, but now he's back on his feet again. And now we have the ball's back in play with Neil Taylor for Villa on the left-hand side. El Ghazi comes forward. You can make your votes for man of the match now, between now and the 90th minute if you like. As El Ghazi's shot just might have got a couple of deflections along the way, but it was straightforward enough for Sam Johnston. He was perfectly placed to gather the ball in, no problem at all. It's a good semi-final this. Let's hope the other one this afternoon, as we hot-foot it down to Derby for the second commentary, is going to be just as good, between Derby County, managed by Frank Lampard, and Balicia the Leeds. Of course, Balicia being the Argentine coach, and I'm sure most Villa fans will want Leeds to lose out. There's going to be another change here. Number 70 Murphy's going to come on, and it's going to be Matt Phillips being replaced. And this really has been a terrific away performance, you've got to say, from the Baggies. They played really well. Jacob Murphy's going to come on. Of course, his brother plays for Cardiff, and he's been relegated to the Championship. That's Josh Murphy, of course. Has been relegated to the Championship. Neil Warnock's side. They got relegated last weekend when they lost. Lost their game against Crystal Palace, which was quite a remarkable game. Could have gone either way, and on another day Cardiff might have won. Now we're going to see the first Villa change. Glenn Whelan's going to come off, and we're going to see Conor Hourihane, the former Barnsley man, come on, and can he make up and atone for the mistake that Whelan made in the first half? He's a great player, very highly rated, I think, and a double substitution because off comes Albert Adoma. And also for Villa we've got Green as well. Green has come on, so just remind you, Whelan and Adoma are off, Hourihane and Green both on for Villa. Can Villa get the equaliser here? To come from behind in the game that we covered against Birmingham City back in November. And there are boos around because West Brom are taking their time, in Villa's mind, against the rules. But as the throw is taken, comes to nothing. And substitutions galore. We're now into the 67th minute. Don't forget man of the match, the name of your player, and hashtag it with the hashtag JBMOTM. Important you do that, guys. Here's Mears back inside to Bartley. I know I said Barkley, but it's Bartley. And the long ball forward, and there's a West Brom player. Gale was the man who went down there, but referee Graham Scott wasn't interested. Second half match stats: Villa have had 6 attempts, West Brom have had 2. Goalkeeper for West Brom, Johnson, has made 2 saves in possession. 72% Villa, 28% West Brom. So it shows that Villa are making a better fist of it in the second half, but the scoreline still remains the same. It's Villa 0, West Brom 1, and that's a poor ball down the right hand channel there, and it's out for a goal kick. Tammy Abrahams was never going to reach that. A little bit gun-ho there from Conor Hourihane, wearing number 14. So Villa have used 2 of their 3. Murphy has come on for West Brom, of course, to replace Matt Phillips. So they've used 2 of the 3. Remember, they had to sacrifice Craig Dawson at the end of the first half due to injury, and on came the former Claret Tyrone Mears, as Tyrone Mings now breaks down into the middle. It goes back to Hourihane, who gets it back to Jed Steer, who might be very disappointed in his part in the goal. Could have got a much stronger hand to the shot from Gale. I know he hit the shot with some ferocity, Dwight Gale, and it's very hard to criticise someone who is a human being after all, but as a goalkeeper you always feel that little bit disappointed, and you feel that they could have done more. But to be fair, the Villa fans have still kept going, they've still kept supporting, and it's been a great cauldron. It's been a proper derby game, and we'll probably have the same atmosphere in midweek when they reconvene Part 2 at the Hawthorns. Of course, it's played over 2 legs, and I should tell you about the aggregate rules. And there's a player down there. It's Dwight Gale again involved. That's twice in 3 minutes. He's gone down holding his face, but Villa entitled to play on as the ball comes in towards the back post, and it's nodded away for a throw in to Villa. Now then, Dwight Gale is in trouble. Do I only commentate on championship games? Well, this is the only our championship match we've done this season, actually. We do usually Premier League games. If you look down the channel badge, we've done mainly Premier League games and FA Cup ties and the like, and we've done all European games. Now, it was Conor Hoover involved. Might have been a friendly arm that hit Dwight Gale, who's getting the bird from the Villa fans. Gale is up on his feet. I'm sure it's purely accidental. I didn't really see any deliberate elbow come out. It's a grey area, the elbow rule. Anyway, the ball played in towards McGinn from the throw-in on the far side. But West Brom still leading, I should tell you, by a goal to nil. Remember the Man in the Match award, JBMOTM, the hashtag and the name of your player. And you will subscribe. That fantastic badge. Thank you very much indeed. And hit that notification bell. And also, remember, don't forget, Man in the Match. 20 minutes left of voting. And as Taylor just loses possession there and West Brom can bring it away. Just to remind you, Man in the Match, JB Man in the Match, supplementary award, just to get you guys involved. Who do you think is the Man in the Match? Name of your player, please. Hashtag JBMLTM, please. And the vote will count. Along with that, and the vote will count. Meanwhile, West Brom have won a corner off Tyrone Mings, crossing from the right-hand side by Tyrone Mears. So it will be a corner kick to West Brom. Remember, we'll have full commentary of the second semi-final at 5 o'clock. Kick-off 5:15 of Derby versus Leeds United. As we're going to have a corner here to be taken by Chris Brunt on the near side here for West Bromwich Albion. Near side, of course, and with the right foot swings it deep towards the back post, and almost a second one. Header came back at the far post. It might have been Bartley who got there, and I honestly think there might have been a second one. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think who it might have been there at the right hand post. I think it might have actually been. Been Murphy there. If it was, he could have made a real impact there as the second half sub and turned into a super stop. Anyway, back to the game, and it's El Mohammadi now for Villa. Good cross in, but again Bartley well positioned. I have to say, in the centre of the three centre backs, he's played a central position. Bartley has had a terrific match. I've got to say, I think if I had to choose man in the match, I would say he would be the man. At the moment, it's El Ghazi now breaking into the penalty area. Has to lay the ball back. McGinn now gets it on the left foot. McGinn shoots, takes a deflection, and it's a corner. And all of a sudden now Villa beginning to get up ahead of steam here. Conor Hoover is going to take over the corner duties from the far side from John McGinn. Mings is coming forward from the back. Can the whole 10 help suck the ball into the back of that West Brom net for Villa? Hurahan's corner towards the near post. Again, good discipline West Brom defending, but it's still not away yet. Tanatabi keeps the situation alive and nods it across the 6-yard box. And no one could get a touch on that, and it was cleared, only half away, mind you. What a Midlands derby this is turning out to be. Might be second tier level, but this semi-final has been played at a real high intensity and a real high standard. And credit to both teams. Certainly Villa in the second half, West Brom more so in the first. Having a go, and Gale now has it on the far side. Gale back inside, trying to touch it towards Murphy, but he couldn't get there, and it's a throw in to West Brom, level almost in line with the 6-yard box of Aston Villa. But they are lightning fast on the counter-attack, Albion, there's no question about that. James Shan. I tell you what, if he wins promotion with them, I think he should get the freedom of West Bromwich. If he does that. Tony Barton, what he did with Villa when he had to take over from Ron Saunders in '82, when Ron Saunders left to join Aston Villa and ended up going to Birmingham City. Tony Barton took over and presided one of the greatest moments in Villa history. And It was just unbelievable. 37 years this month, would you believe? What team do I support? Well, the clue's in the name. I'm a Burnley fan. Burnley. As you'll see with all the Clarets games lives, you'll see how biased I am to Burnley in some of the commentaries. Anyway, here's El Zaghi for Villa. El Zaghi now turning away, but here's Taylor with a decent cross, and Johnston might have just got the glove on that, and that took it away from the Villa players coming in towards the 6-yard box. Villa aren't finished yet. Huron now on the edge of the area. Huron into the penalty area towards the right-hand side of it. It's pulled back here. The shot comes in. It's in the corner. It's 1-1. It's Connor Huron. What a goal. And Villa are right back in this playoff semi-finals, and on the basis of the second half performance, it is truly and utterly deserved. 1-1, and we've got a quarter of an hour of this intriguing, riveting encounter here at Villa Park to go. The ball was hooked back. Huron wanted it, and from all of 20 yards smashes it into the net and makes it 1-1. It was Grealish who made the initial break, incidentally. Excuse me. And there comes Huron. What a substitution from Dean Smith. And I'm sure Glenn Whelan, who's sitting on that Villa bench, will be absolutely relieved about that. Villa Park is now shaking, I can tell you. This is some semi-final, this. And there's still no way of who's going to win it, as the ball is hooked in from the right-hand side, a long ball from the right-hand side towards the Villa penalty area, well plucked out of the air by Jed Steer. Villa 1, West Brom 1 now. And here come Villa on the break again with Huron. Into Abraham, back towards El Mohammadi. Now Adoma around the corner. What a game this is turning out to be. And the Villa fans are bang up for it now again. There's a player injured in the face there. A free kick, I think, has been given against Gibbs. And there's a little bit of pushing and shoving with El Mohammadi as well. In fact, it was green, I should tell you. And in fact, well, he caught him slightly in the face. I'm not sure there was much in that at all, but it is a free kick to Villa. And in fact, Gibbs has been booked. So, 14 minutes left to play. And all of a sudden, West Brom, who led very comfortably at half-time, are now on the back foot. And that's down to the substitution. And Connor Huron, he's had a great influence. Him and Grealish, the two-man committee over on the far side, the right-hand side. Huron with a low ball in, and West Brom struggling a little bit at the moment. That clearance wasn't the best. Huron trying to get on the end of it. He finds Grealish. Back to Huron. Huron's cross from the right-hand side into the penalty area. Comes to Grealish. He goes down, and the referee has said penalty. A penalty to Villa. What a turnaround. What a turnaround here at Villa Park. Graham Scott was in a terrific position to give the penalty, and boy did he give it. Grealish coming in, and I think there was a trip here. It's Kieran Gibbs, who's already been booked, of course. I'm surprised he's not been spoken to by the referee, to be honest with you, but Tammy Abraham now has the responsibility in front of the whole 10. What a turnaround this could be. What a semi-final. Abraham now in front of the whole 10 against Sam Johnston from 12 yards. Shortest run up. And it's going to be the right foot of Tammy Abraham. He steps up, right-footed, scores into the right-hand corner. It's 2 goals in 3 minutes for Villa. And they've turned this semi-final right on its head. What a turnaround here at Villa Park. Goodness me. They looked out of all sorts at half-time. And that substitution from Huron has made a huge difference. And so has Jack Grealish as well. One has got to say, what a penalty this is. Corners personified. Johnson went the wrong way. He went to his right as he looked. The ball went to his left. And Dean Smith, just a fist pump, that's all he needs. Let the Villa fans go ballistic. Tammy Abraham, on loan from Chelsea. Leeds has given Villa a 2-1 advantage here in this playoff semi-final, and James Shannon Michael Appleton absolutely can't believe it. And now all of a sudden it's Villa advantage Villa. And now it's 2-1, and what a first leg this has turned out to be. There's no doubt about that. Here's Tyrone Mears now from the restart for West Bromwich Albion. He'll be shocked by that. 78 minutes and 6 seconds the penalty goal was timed at. But 2 goals in 3 minutes has turned the game around for Villa. An unbalanced play of the second half. I don't think anybody, even the most arduous of West Brom fans, can really argue about that. But now it's down to West Brom to try and find a way through with Murphy. Murphy on the far side. And Gale as well. This needs to be a good ball into the penalty area. It's a poor one, really, by Mears, and out for a throw. But the Villa fans are absolutely cock-a-hoop at the moment. And why not? They have showed the ultimate fighting spirit and the ultimate comeback, and they've played some really good football in doing that as well. And it was... We didn't think Villa had a price at half-time, a lot of us. But my goodness, Dean Smith, what a team talk he put on at the moment. And what a substitution. Conor Hourihane. I told you when he came on, this player is a very, very, very talented player. Very highly rated, I said. And to be honest with you, I've been proved right. He's a man certainly for the big occasion. And Villa have got experience... Recent experience of the playoffs. They knocked out Middlesbrough dramatically last season to get to the final, of course, which they lost rather disappointingly at Wembley. They're looking to put that right this year, and at the moment they're going absolutely and utterly the right way about it. 9 minutes of this first leg left to play. It's Dwight Gale to take a throw, level with the 18-yard box on the far side, right by the tunnel at the Trinity Road. Over on the far side by the Trinity Road stand as the throw is flicked on inside the area. Still a chance in there for Rodriguez. It's a bit up and under. None. West Brom claim a penalty. Referee doesn't want to know. Did look a clumsy challenge. And I honestly think West Brom may have had a case for a penalty themselves. Well, be interesting to see the referee stop the play. There's a player gone down injured inside the Villa penalty box. I can't tell you who it is. And Graham Scott has got some... It's Tammy Abraham, in fact. Now, let's see whether this was a penalty or not. Rodriguez trying to hook the ball back. Then there was a high foot in there. Abraham, I think, was involved. Well, I'm not sure whether you could give a penalty for that. It's Holgate going in there. But, well, maybe he was shoved to the ground. And then Grealish and Abraham cleaned each other out. But I think Mason Holgate, maybe looking at that again, could and should have possibly had a penalty kick. 8 minutes to go. It's still 2-1 Villa. It's kicked off big time in this second half, hasn't it? It's been a terrific game all round, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable. It's almost as dramatic as the night at Anfield, really, because you look at how they came back, and Aston Villa, well, maybe it's the Jurgen Klopp of the Championship, Dean Smith, who knows? Or the English Jurgen Klopp of the Championship. But one thing is for certain, it has been an enthralling, a riveting, a terrific second half, and I hope you guys are enjoying the commentary at home. Remember, the JB Man of the Match is still voting. We haven't had one single vote yet. The name of the player you want to see crowned Man of the Match by us, or you think should be Man of the Match, and hashtag it with the hashtag JBMOTM. If not, and then I'll have to decide. But we've got another player that's down now inside the centre circle. I think you're all enjoying this semi-final, and no one can blame you for that. It has been an enthralling semi-final. I think it's Johansson who I think is down at the moment. I think this was the second penalty. Well, this was the potential penalty that West Brom didn't get. They were trying to show a replay and it froze. Yeah, and it is Johansson, as I originally thought. I don't know what the injury actually is. I think it might be just a cramp or something like that. Number 7 for West Brom is going to come on. It's James Morrison, or Morrison anyway. I'm not sure if it's James or not, but It is James Morrison. He seems to have been at West Brom forever and a day. This kid started off at Middlesbrough, of course, and in his place, and he will replace Stefan Johansson for the remaining 6 minutes plus injury time. Remember, the game is far from over, so West Brom will still have a massive chance when they go back to the Hawthorns in midweek for the second leg. But James Sham will be frustrated that they've let a 1-0 lead slip. But to be fair, on the balance of play, they've sat back, and in the end, Villa have worn them down. And I think Conor Houlihan's wonder goal has really changed the complexity of the tie, and then a clumsy charge by Gibbs, who could have arguably been sent off for 2 yellows, by the way, led to the penalty, which was duly converted rather coolly by Tammy Abraham. Great penalty. 2-1 to Villa. Just over 5 minutes to go. Ball has been kept in terrifically. No, it's not. It's gone out of play before El Ghazi could get there. And it's Tuesday night. They play to a conclusion. Boy, what a second leg that's going to be. That's going to be an 8 o'clock kickoff, I'm told, and then Leeds and Derby will finish their second leg on the Wednesday. We'll only be able to bring you the live coverage of the first legs, of course, because I'll be busy during the midweek, but then we'll be bringing you the full match and full final from Wembley. But what a semi-final it has been. 3 goals, dramatic action. It's been a marvellous game to describe to you guys at home. It's been a marvellous semi-final, and I think the second legs are going to be evenly poised. Let's see how the other one goes tonight as well. The second one, West Brom trying to get the ball moving, but the ball's going out of play on the near side, and it's going to be a tough test for West Brom in the second half. They're frustrated. I just saw J. Rodriguez there on my monitor get frustrated. Dean Smith, he's the calmest man in the house at the moment, the Villa manager. But what a change to get Conor Houlihan on for the ineffective Glenn Whelan, who'll be probably the most pleased man right now on that substitutes bench, I would have thought. It was his error that gave West Brom the lead in the early stages of the first half. They led 1-0 at the break, the Baggies, but then back came Villa with a vengeance in the second half. Took them a while to wear West Brom down, but my goodness, they did that terrifically well. But the job is not done yet, even after 90 minutes this afternoon. They've got to finish the job 3 miles down the road on Tuesday night, and if they can do that, they're back at Wembley for the second time in 12 months and hoping to put last year's wrongs utterly right. As the ball comes down the near side, and a chance here for West Brom, but the ball into the penalty area is well fielded, and there was a late challenge there by Dwight Gale, and this could be problems here. There could be a car coming out now. What colour it is? He's going to his back pocket. He's already been booked. He's off. Dwight Gale has been sent off. It's a red card, and it was a second bookable offence. And Aston Villa will play against 10 men, and West Bromwich Albion's day that promised so much earlier on in the piece. He's now got even more worse. They're 2-1 down, and have had Dwight Gale sent off. A red card for him. And the cheers from the Villa fans, you can hear it all the way in Birmingham City Centre. Definite foul there on the goalkeeper who got the ball, went in, and that's a definite yellow card, regardless of whether or not his momentum took it into him, but the intent was there. Another Villa player down injured as well. And it's becoming a feisty game. Well, we've had the lot today. Goals, controversy, penalties, red cards, the lot. 2 to play. Villa 2, 10-man West Brom 1. And we've got a player stricken. I can't tell you who it is. Might be John McGinn, I think. No, it's El Ghazi, sorry. El Ghazi. Couldn't tell. You can't tell when they're down with the numbers. Blind to you. It really is difficult, but that said, what a comeback from Aston Villa. It's got to be one of the greatest comebacks of the season, and if they can hang on and then finish the job at the Hawthorns, what a job Dean Smith was. They were a team that was drifted to mid-table when he took over from Steve Bruce midway through the season, but that massive run when they only lost 1 in 12 got them into the semi-finals of the playoffs initially in the first place. And now, look at them now. Jonathan Cudger looks as if he's going to come on for the remaining minute or so, and I'm gonna make the vote for man of the match, and I've got to say, up until that point, Bartley was the man, but I'm going to say Conor Hourihane. I know he came on as a substitute, but his influence has swung the game towards Villa at the moment. And also, there's another injury here for Tyrone Mings as well. But that's the sending off again. He's fouled the goalkeeper quite clearly there. There's a definite foul on Steer. He was already booked, of course, for time wasting. And you know, when you get a stupid yellow card like that, it's come back to bite, unfortunately, West Brom, and it's hard for me to say that because there's two ex-Clarets in the side. There's all sorts of commotions going on. El Ghazi and Mings are both injured. It's all kicked off here, and I hope it's not going to be that sort of ending, really, because up until now it's been fantastically gay. It's been a fantastic game. You've got to give both teams a lot of credit for the way they've entertained the spectators here. Both teams deserve that credit, but we really don't want the first leg anyway to end in a complete and utter farce. So off comes number 22, El Ghazi, and he will be replaced by, as I said, Jonathan Kodja. Of course, at 5 o'clock we'll have the commentary of Derby. 5 o'clock, 5:05, we'll have the commentary of Derby versus Leeds in the second semi. And of course we'll bring you news at Wembley of the National League playoff between Salford and Fylde, and the winners of that will go into the Football League next season, and whoever wins will enter it for the very first time, and good luck to both teams. Right, we're not finished yet, so man of the match is Conor Hourihane from the JB point of view, and 7 additional minutes, I should also add, for all the injuries and all the other kicking off stuff. So 7 added minutes, and we're still far from finished yet here at Villa Park. Wow, what an afternoon it has been. We'll get some reaction once the whistle goes as well from a couple of the main protagonists, and then we'll be leaving you at around about 2:35, maybe 2:40 this afternoon, and then I've got to hook-foot it for the second semi-final. Here's Green on the left-hand side. The cross comes in towards the 6-yard box, and it wasn't defended well, but Sam Johnson just grew enough to get the ball off the top of Abraham's head, and now gives it a huge rally up the field. But there wasn't too many forward in the stripes, and now with no Gale on it, they've lost their pace. Here's Rodriguez now. They're going to have to look for him for inspiration, but he's lost possession now midway inside the Villa half, and now Jack Grealish, who again has had another influence, but Conor Hourihane, the reason he's got man of the match is because of that strike, because it's turned the game on its head, and now Villa will be looking to a third one if it can get on the end of it. It's Jonathan Kodja trying to make it absolute. We play 2 of the 7 minutes, and I should also stretch it to minimum off. I think Dean Smith wants them to go for a third, which will give them that extra cushion going into that second leg on Tuesday night. Here's Taylor now for Villa. Taylor on the left hand side feeds Green. Green, as possession goes back to Taylor, the former Swansea man, of course. And here's Conor Hourihane, whose goal has turned this semi-final first leg well and truly on its head. It was boiling up, they were knocking on the door, and his strike, right-footed strike, was one of the goals of the season. Here's Grealish now, deep inside West Brom territory, towards the edge of the penalty area. Ball out to the far side, and they keep in possession really calmly here now, Villa. 3 of the 7 already elapsed. Of course, it's a minimum of as the cross comes in. It's only half away. Abraham trying to turn. He's lost his balance there momentarily, and a shot comes in from outside the penalty area, and the ball is actually cleared and smuggled out for a goal kick, and Conor Hourihane nearly repeated the trick again, just down to the right of the D, and he almost repeated the trick once again, this time with the left foot, and I think it was sneaking inside that near post, you know, that right hand West Brom goal, and it remains 2-1. Could have easily been 3 then. What a game this has turned out to be, and for a neutral like me, and I'm strictly neutral, by the way, I don't have any preference to either side, but you have to say it's been a game that us neutrals have absolutely enjoyed and enthralled with, because it's just been It's just been an absolute joy and a privilege to bring it to you. As much as a joy and a privilege as the Liverpool match was, this has been dramatic in so many levels. 3 minutes of the 7 still remaining to go. Nice to see someone pursuing their goals. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed. As the ball comes forward once again, it's Ghazi getting away for Villa. Hits Jonathan Codgin. Battles well over on the far side. It's 2-1 still to Aston Villa. We've played 4.5 minutes of the 7 minutes. It's a free kick to West Brom, fouled by Jack Grealish. And he's had a hand in things now. He's been given the television award. 1 assist, a penalty 1, 3 chances created. His passing accuracy, I've got to tell you, a whopping 90%. Well, he gets a television award. Conor Hourihane, because of his one big moment there, turned the first leg on its head. He's our man in a match, so both of them should get a shared award, I suppose. Here's Taylor now for Aston Villa. What a semi-final this has been. It's been an absolute joy, and let's hope the second leg, the second semi, the first leg at Pride Park, lives up to all the billing. And Hourihane now plays it out to the far side. Remember, no away goals count double, so that's a little bit of a disappointment there for Villa. Here's Taylor playing it infield. Once again, good turn by Abraham on the edge of the penalty area. Gets it out of the far side. Now Codger to run at defenders. Codger with a shot on the left foot. Comes to El Mohammadi. El Mohammadi, who's had a decent game down the right-hand side. Now Grealish takes the ball up. How fitting it could be if he scored a third. Inside the area. Shot comes in and inside the box, and it's over the top. And in fact, it was Green who turned, got his shot off, and it got a deflection, which took it away from the goal. And that would have been a perfect second half display. Green around his man, and it hit the defender, and it will be a Villa corner. And again, they brought a lot of people up from the back towards the near post. El Mohammadi was there. Another Villa corner. I think they want that third goal for extra security. Mears having to do the defending there. Former Burnley player, of course. Now then, a corner to Villa. Hourihane to take it again. Again, another curling one. Again, another dangerous one. Still might come to El Mohammadi. They've got plenty of outlets on the right-hand side, and the ball in towards the penalty area. I think it was from Jack Grealish, and well taken by Johnston. 20 seconds of the 7 minutes to go. That's all that's left now. Unless the referee, Scott, decides to add a little bit more time added on to the 7 minutes that we've already been allocated, and it was a minimum off, and I should stress that quite clearly. 4 seconds to go. All eyes on the referee in fluorescent yellow. He checks his watch once. We're over the 7 minutes here. He'll allow this attack, I'm sure, from Villa. McGinn now to Green. Green on the left-hand side. Into the penalty area he trots. Ball play back towards the edge of the area. And the ball has been lost, but the ball has been won again. Here's Grealish. Grealish trying to take on all comers. Referee checks his watch a second time. And still he allows play to go on. The ball crossed in from the right-hand side. Headed away by Bartley, who's played really well at the heart of that West Brom defence this afternoon. We're going to give a special mention to him. He's played really well, even in defeat. Here's Grealish now on the left-hand side. We've played 30 seconds over the 7. There's the cross coming in, and Johnston takes it. Again, the referee checks his watch for a third time. And still we play on. Coming up towards a minute over the 7. 10 seconds shy of that. And Johnston now taking his time. I suppose when you've got a second leg to come at the Hawthorns, it's very difficult. But the referee, I think, we'll see enough after this, I'm sure. We played a minute over the 7 and no more. Wow, what a dramatic game of football, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it at home. A commentary, well, this had to go some to recreate the spirit of Anfield on Tuesday night. When Liverpool did the impossible, it looked as if Villa needed a terrific response themselves. They got it. Cliffhanger 1969 says, great commentary. Well, if you haven't subscribed, Cliffhanger, get subscribing, please. And hit the notification bell if you want to hear more of this. We're back on the air at 5 o'clock. But let's just remind you, Dwight Gale gave West Brom a hard-time lead. Then back came Villa inside the last 20 minutes. 2 goals, in fact, in 3 second-half minutes. The equaliser coming after 75 from Conor Hourihane. And then the winning goal, a penalty awarded when Jack Grealish was taken out by Gibbs, who could have arguably been sent off himself for 2 yellow cards. Converted by Tammy Abraham. Then Dwight Gale got himself stupidly sent off. His first yellow card was for time wasted when attempting to take a long throw in. And then a clear foul on the goalkeeper with 6 minutes left to play. And, well, they're going to be without him now for the second leg at the Hawthorns. Advantage Villa. Slender advantage, but advantage they would have taken if you'd offered it them at half time. Let's hear from the two protagonists, Jack Grealish and Conor Hourihane.
I don't know, like I've said in a few interviews before, and I said it the other day to the manager, I said just every time we come onto the pitch, I look at the players around me and I just think we're going to win. Even if we go a goal down, a man down, I always think we're going to win. And then, when we've got quality like Conor coming off the bench, it speaks for himself, his goal, so a good win, yeah.
Well, was that an inspired substitution by the manager?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Obviously wasn't going for us a little bit before we came on. Myself and Green, he added a bit maybe of energy or whatever, but there's still another game to go, so you have to get ready for that.
How nicely did the man alongside you tee that up for you, that goal?
Yeah, listen, Jack's the best player in the league in my opinion. He's got so much quality. He's probably too good for the league. But no, listen, he does it every week for us, and he's fantastic.
Jack, the manager said before the game that this tie wouldn't be won today. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, of course, it's like last year, we won at Middlesbrough and then we come back here and we had another tough game. West Brom are a great side, and we know when we go to the Hawthorns on Tuesday night, it's going to be a hostile atmosphere. It's going to be a tough game, but like I said, I look at the players around me and I feel like we can go home and win every game, so hopefully we can do that and get ourselves back to Wembley.
Conor, do you need to change it?
No, listen, we're always out to win games. We never sit back. We won't be going there for a draw, that's for sure, with the way this manager plays. So, we'll be going into it like any other game trying to win.
Well, there we go. They just about awarded Jack Grealish the Television Man of the Match award, but that's it from us for now. We'll be back at about 5 o'clock, 5:05 for the second semi-final. That's between Frank Lampard's Derby County and Melissa's Leeds United, who missed out on automatic promotion, having led for most of the regular season. I hope you can join me for that. I've got a hot-footed up now to Pride Park, but until then, have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Enjoy the Wembley playoff final in the conference, and we'll bring you news of that when we're back on the air in just over 2.5 hours from now. But what a fantastic game. It looked as if Villa were out of it at half-time, but back they came in the second half with a vengeance, and that terrific 25-yard thunderbolt from Conor Hourihane levelled the game, having come out as a substitute, and then Grealish winning a penalty, which looked a clear penalty. And then Tammy Abraham slotted it into the right-hand corner with his right foot. And Villa have a lead to take back to the Hawthorns. It's finished here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 2, West Bromwich Albion 1, and of course Dwight Gale was sent off for the Albion as well with two quite clear bookable offences. I don't think he's got any arguments with that. He'll be suspended, I'm sure, for the second leg, but at the moment 2-1 to Villa as things stand going into that second leg, which kicks off at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night at the Hawthorns. But here at Villa Park, what a day, what a game. I thought it would have took some to follow the drama of Anfield on Tuesday night in the Champions League. Boy, did it live up to all that billing, because it finished here 2-1 to Villa in what was a terrific game of football and a terrific advert for Championship football. We'll see you at 5 o'clock. Until then, from me, JB, take care and see you later. Bye-bye.